it's probably the best way in motorsport to start racing, and these guys here are all doing a very good job in a very, very fast little car.
Let's have a look at them, because the Supercarts today, they were known as go-karts, and I know that the people in the sport now hate to hear the word go-kart. They're now called Supercarts, but in this particular event we've got a number of singles and twins, 250s, both national and international class. Can you explain that just briefly for us?
Well, just briefly, the karts are all really 250cc. The international karts are twins, and they're very, very fast little cars. They probably do 250 k's down the back straight. The national karts are a single 250, and they all use sort of a Dunlop or a Bridgestone tyre. They're about 195 kilos in weight and very, very fast.
Yes, and of course this is the class that anyone that's made it into Grand Prix racing will tell you this is what you should be doing. It's the best way to learn the racecraft. It's the best way to learn how to point and turn in a particular racing machine. And I know that there's a young fellow was talking to Jackie Stewart and Alan Jones just last year about this, and both of them said if you want to go internationally, then you've got to go into one of these. Barbara Hepworth, our fastest lady, certainly on the pole position there. And then we've got Woodgate, Robertson, McHugh, Thompson, Brown taking up the top 6 for you. Lindsay, Comer, Bowen, Laird, Namara and Lowe are the top 12. So now they're the grid positions for you. The top 12, very, very big field, Mark. I wasn't quite sure there were this many cars in Australia.
I think it's a good quality field too. There's been a couple of guys that had a few problems throughout the weekend, and kart number 1, Les May, is a long way back in the field. He's on 24th grid position, and it'll be interesting to see how fast he can come through the field desert.
Yes, it will. Now Les May is a very, very fast driver. That's kart number 1. You can see in the centre of your screen there. He's way back onto the left-hand side of your screen. You can see the 2 karts weaving. That's kart number 1. Now we're going to keep our eye on Les May, because we're expecting him to charge right through the pack and challenge for the lead. So lining up now, basically 2 lines of these very, very fast machines. Gearbox, Mark, what are we talking about in number of gears?
They're all 6-speed gearboxes, and they all really, today, they're a much more advanced little kart than you think. They've all got 4-spot brake calipers. They've all got four brakes on each corner of the kart, so they're a very, very good little stopping toy.
Once the race gets underway and we start to look at some different machines, we'll go through them for you, but basically most of the top machines here have been imported from Europe, particularly England.
Yes, basically the chassis are all English built, and at the moment there's a little bit of rain around the back of the track, so that'll make it interesting.
Certainly will. Just a little sprinkle of rain. We can see some on the window here at the commentary box, but at the top end of the circuit at the moment, a shower of rain, so that will really liven things up. Here we have May there in kart number 1. Would be very, very disappointed because he's way back, but that will make this race more than interesting.
Oh, for sure. You know, I think also that kart number 6, Andrew Lindsay, has done a good job, because he's the first of the national karts, and he's on grid position 7, so that's been a big effort too, because obviously he's probably 30 horsepower less than the international kart.
Yeah, that's a single machine, and that's way back on the right-hand side there. There we are. You can see sitting in there the first of the nationals. Now that's a single machine 250. Okay, 6 laps, 3.780 kilometres around. Race distance is 22.680 kilometres. We're almost ready for start. Watch for the lights now. Barbara Hepworth in pole position, kart 27 on the right-hand side, racing now, getting a very, very good start too. Barbara Hepworth comes blasting through. Kart number 3 also doing well, Peter Woodgate, and takes the line right in behind Barbara Hepworth. We'll have a look for kart number 1 when the field settles down, but at the moment, Barbara Hepworth out in front, nice racing line through that first chicane, got a really, really good start, and you can see now that we've got a new second place getter sitting in behind there. Kart number 4, that is. That's Glenn Robinson. So it's Barbara Hepworth out in front from Robinson and Woodgate in third.
That was interesting then, Darryl, because Peter Woodgate got a better start, Glenn Robinson was passed to the first corner, then up the next straight. Oh, straight in. Barbara Hepworth straight to the fence there. Phew, I hope she's all right.
Oh, bad luck. Oh, there's 2 in, and there's fire in cart 6 as well. By G. Oh, and his suit's on fire there too. I hope they've noticed that. Petrol obviously gone all over the place. Well, that was a bad shot. Barbara Hepworth was doing so well. Mark was just saying that Peter Woodgate had got a good start, but then Robinson had come past him, and all of a sudden, look at these little tyres. I mean, there's no trouble clearing the track with the debris. They're so tiny that by G, Barbara Hepworth really smacked the wall pretty hard, and behind them, Woodgate and Robertson came in pretty hard as well. William Brown's cart also involved there. Cart 27, that was Barbara Hepworth's cart. There she is there, looks okay. That's the Zip Eagle. Well, that'd be shattering. She's been around a long time, and to do it here, Mark.
Well, that's a really tricky little corner there, but I'm sure that something else went wrong because she was in the lead and going well.
All right, let's have a look what happens. Now, here's Barbara Hepworth coming into the corner, turning through now. And that was very, very, very hard when she hit. Well, I don't know, Mark. That looked like she just steered straight in. She's lost something. Maybe something broke.
Well, I think, Darryl, what's happened is maybe at that end of the circuit it's had a few spots of rain because Barbara understeered straight into the fence and then 2 other carts and went straight in behind her. So there's obviously something very slippery on the circuit up there to make all 3 carts do the same trick.
Well, I mean, we're only getting the odd spot of rain here. We're not quite sure. Well, look what's happened now. The man we talked about, Les May, is now out in front. He's taken advantage of all of that, but he is sliding around. That's a lot wetter out there than we realise here. You can see the cart really getting out of shape. Can't even get any traction.
Yeah, you just saw on their way into the corner then the cart understeered. He turned into the corner, the car went straight. His gas are coming out of the corner. You can still see there now as he pulls gears, the little machine, she's sideways everywhere. I think they'll have to red flag it.
Yeah, he's put his hand up. He said, we can't race in this. It's just too slippery. Going past the accident site there, and you can see the cart. Look, it's all over the place. Of course, on little slicks, and just can't get any traction.
Well, the other thing about these things too, Darryl, is that they've got no suspension. So basically the chassis is the suspension, and they're so stiff that the cart just does those things.
Well, he certainly threw his hand up to say, be very, very careful. He was indicating to anybody behind him, because what we're assuming here that the track is wet in places. We're now starting to get heavy rain on the front of the commentary box window here. We were warned that it was raining, or spots of rain at the top end of the circuit, and that has paid a big price in this. Well, Barbara Hepworth was the fastest qualifier in practice, really made a great start, was leading and building up a little bit of a buffer there, and already 3 up, and gee, that was a big shunt too.
It was a big shunt. As you can see here now, there's little lines where the carts are trying to clear the water off the road. Being such a big circuit, some of the places around the track will be drier than others, so it'll be very, very tricky.
Well, here he is, still out and doing the best he can under the conditions. This is Les May now coming on to the pit straight. And look at this little car, just drifts right across the track, and you can see just getting so much wobble out of the corners as he puts the power down. He's got to feed it on ever so gently. He is Australia's largest importer and supplier of the Supercarts. Current Australian champion, and had a bad practice session yesterday and had to start way, way back. We did expect him to make a charge through, but not under those circumstances.
Yes, it was very unfortunate, obviously, to have it like that. But you can see how much trouble he's having, and he's driving the cart very, very well. It's sideways, and every time he pulls a gear, it bursts into a wheel spin.
Third place in 89 and 90 in Adelaide, so I mean, there's another one off with a big slide there, and just pulls it up very, very, very nicely. I mean, they really do go off like a Formula One, don't they? Well, there you go. Plenty of action here. We'll take a break, back shortly with the Supercarts. Conditions that are very, very dangerous at the moment for these competitors. This is, at the moment, Les May in cart number 1, the current Australian champion. He's out in front, but Mark, this cart is a real handful.
Yeah, Darryl, like the Adelaide circuit is always a very slippery little place anyway, but to be racing out there now, the carts have got, as I said before, no suspension. They don't get any weight transference to make the tyres work, and right now they're so slippery it's unbelievable.
Les Les May, who makes his living importing the supercarts into the country. Now let's have a look at the start again. This is Les May coming off the start, Chris. He had such a practice session of yesterday, so disastrous. Look at him blasting up the side from 24th position, just blasting through, making up as much ground as he could before the first corner. Marvellous start.
Oh, great start. Actually, the initial start wasn't that good, but it's obviously the best little engine being the 250 Rotax.
Well, at the... Oh, another one spinning around. That's cart number 62, John Pelican. Gee whiz, he's just nudged it in the side there, so he's okay. But as we've said, rain quite consistent now. This is the Zip Eagle of Les May. That's an imported vehicle. And you won the Australian Championship in karts a little, well, not quite like this, but I guess they did the same thing. Kart 12 having a lose.
Yeah, that's right, but they're probably not quite as quick as these things. These things are very, very fast. They actually go around this circuit as fast as our touring cars go around.
Yeah, quite amazing, isn't it? Well, he's with one lap to go now. Les May has done a great job. Third place for 2 years here. He would dearly love to win. And I thought after practice being back so far, he would have been saying it's a big job, but he's done it. You're looking at Gerard Stibbett. And this is kart number 3. Running in 4th position, kart number 3. It's Peter Woodgate. Made a good start, but lost it a little bit in the first corner and lost some ground. 5 out of 6. Oh, and there's 26 having a little bit of a spin too. Gets through and hits the wall. Oh, gee whiz, he was saying that's why I didn't want to do that with 1 lap to go. Well, you can't blame these people. They're trying as hard as they can, but conditions here extremely slippery. This is Woodgate. Nicely turned out vehicle. Again, you'll see this. It's just a matter of if you don't get the line exactly right, you lose all sorts of traction. But pretty lucky here, boom, that he didn't catch anyone there and hits the wall.
It's one of those things too, because you couldn't see behind him, so you don't know where the fence is. So it's very, very... If he probably stayed on the brake, you might have stopped it, but you don't know where you are.
He almost went down a little escape road there. If he'd gone a couple of feet, he'd have gone through the gate. It'd have been okay. Woodgate now, setting himself up. And very murky on the track. So a very interesting day's racing here at Adelaide. They've predicted rain throughout this afternoon to ease tomorrow morning and cloudy conditions tomorrow for the big race. The touring cars will also be a handful in this round here.
I think any car around here will be a handful now, Darryl. This is a very slippery place, and also because they've got painted rivel strips, as soon as you put a wheel on those painted blue and white strips, it's all over.
Well, this man, Les May, has done a fantastic job in the Zip Eagle. He really has come from grid position number 24th, blasted his way through the pack, took advantage of the first lap shunt that took 4 karts out, including our leader, Barbara Hepworth. But you've got to be so precise in the dry, so it must be like driving on ice.
It is, and as I said before, the tyres and the package of the wings, you can see the little wings on the kart there now, have obviously been set up for the dry. So then to convert all that to the wet, you need to have the wings up and get more downforce, and you also need to have a softer tyre, Darryl. So they've done a good job to get around.
All right, so just looking at another section of the track here, and piece came off the kart there, a bracket of some sort.
Yeah, the bracket just holding the exhaust on, so that won't be too big a drama. It'll probably hang on to that for the last half a lap.
Yeah, so losing bits and pieces and contending with the wet conditions and the traffic in front of him. I mean, you've really got to be careful looking at everybody else as you go past like that, because if anybody else gets into trouble, we've seen what happened on lap 1, when half the field went out with fire.
Yeah, very easy to be part of somebody else's accident out there at the moment, but you can see now that Les is being pretty calm about it and driving the kart very, very smooth, not taking any risks. You can just see those lines there, they're painted lines, and because the tyres are so small, it makes the kart aquaplane on those lines.
Must be a fantastic sensation to be blasting down a straightaway like this at the speeds that they're building up into these little machines, and you're so low to the ground. I mean, you're part of the track.
Well, they're unbelievable little toys because they've got 85 horsepower and they only weigh 195 kilos, so they're like an Arnott's biscuit with an outboard on it.
But Mark, they are the absolute essential tool if you want to go into international startup in Formula 1.
Well, they are. You know, they're a very, very good little kart, and they're very, very fast. They feel like a Formula 1 kart. They're great things to drive.
So Les May now winding his way round for the checkered flag. He's looking for the traffic. He's looking for puddles of water that may be forming on the circuit at the moment. Those little tyres, as Mark Scaife has said, will aquaplane off so quickly. As you can see now, nice shot there as he turns in. sitting back nice and relaxed. He's got to contend with the conditions. And heading away now for a victory, and he would really cherish that one, because starting from 24th position on the grid is quite amazing. So a good battle for second and third at the moment. Woodgate now blasting his way through, but he's being challenged by number 2. That's Gerard Stibbett now. So look at this. This is going to go right down to the wire. Stibbett just takes the line in front of him from Woodgate now. Stibbett in cart number 2. Woodgate in 3, drifts around the corner. He's going to hold on, I think. That's been a good drive too, because he had to come from midfield to do all of this. The first lap shunt, of course, robbed a lot of the top competitors of this race. But here he goes. Stibbett will take second place. Woodgate in third place. They had a fabulous dice. So final placings now go to Les May. Stibbett was second. Woodgate was third. That was quite an exciting race under the conditions. Bad luck that first lap shunt. Kenny Sutcliffe, it's back to you.
Thanks, Daryl. And Jackie, that poses a few questions and problems for the F1 drivers later this afternoon.
No question, if the track conditions as they are at the present time, clearly the pole position from yesterday will stand for the starting grid, because there's no way that the cars can get a quick lap done in this condition. It doesn't take long, of course, for the racetrack to dry out, but the conditions at the present time suggest that it's going to be a little bit showery all day long.